Hello. Today, I want to talk about rotating a 2D plane in 3D space. So let's let's think of a plane. Okay. When I think of let's say we're looking straight at it. So I'm going to draw this one at a time. And please bear with me because I'm trying to do this without assistive tools. And line weight, which probably isn't the best way to do a tutorial, but I will show you where I'm getting at. So now that I think about it, this is probably a bad idea. I think that I think showing you a different way to think about it is better. Now, please bear with me. I'm going to show you. Okay? Let's start from the perspective of a line, right? Now, this line that I can't draw straight, probably because I'm drawing too slow, that line is actually a plane. So, I'll show you. Pretty much the thing I just drew before, it's the same thing. Just, it's different because of the perspective we're looking at it. And I'll show you. Why can't I probably didn't align that right. Still not doing that right. But just know that it's the same thing, even though we can't see it. So the important thing is that there's going to be, as it moves, and I'm gonna pivot it around where it's at right now. As it moves, there's going to be an area that recedes in 3D space, and there's going to be an area that gets closer to us. Now, you see this line here, that maps to the side that we're seeing right now. So it's the same thing, but we just can't see we can't see the front here. The front, since it's a plane, it has a front and a back. Those are the two sides it has. The front side would be there, and the back side would be there, but we just can't see it because we're looking straight at it. Okay, so let's say we already drew it here, that we're going to be rotating it. We're rotating this plane to the right. So as we go, I'm going to show it to you, but I'm going to get rid of this stuff because I think it kind of obscures the example. And I'm going to draw on new. Oops. Oh, I should have kept that on a different layer, but pain. I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to take a quick second to make a layer just to draw a straight line, which probably makes a lot more sense for me to use than what I'm doing now, but oh well. Okay. We have our line, or our 2D plane, and okay, let us do the rotation. So as this paper rotates, there's a section that will be going behind us, and there'll be a section that'll be going in front of us. So as we just do this one rotation, there's going to be I'm sorry, just give me 1 second to visualize it. There's going to be basically, it's going to become we're going to see the backside. So you know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna go back to this layer and just show you that the line. Just so we have it, there's a front side. There's a front side. I'm going to draw it for you too. there's a front side. And there's a back side. Backside, because there are two sides to our plane. Okay, so let me think about this now. And I probably shouldn't have drawn it on that layer. I'm so sorry. I'm just not going to hide the layers. But okay, so we're at the other layer where I'm going to put our new paper thing. Okay, what am I doing? What am I doing? I didn't forget what I'm doing. I'm just trying to show it better. Okay, so this side is our back side because we're rotating it that way. So that's our back side. I'm gonna do another layer. And man, I really shouldn't have. I'm gonna hide this as I go, but I'm gonna use the previous one as a reference point. Okay, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I'm doing something wrong. Maybe not. I'm gonna like exaggerate it a bit. Yeah, I just have to hide the previous layer. Basically, I'm saving that original side. It's moving, but we're just kind of like rotating it. So we're not seeing the front side, but we're going to see more of the back because we're rotating it to the right. As we go. And it's not too complicated because we're working with it. You know what? I just realized that I probably, like, because this is like stuck in space, not stuck in space, but just like I'm keeping that part the same and like I'm rotating it around that as like a pivot point. Oops. And I keep thinking that I'm doing something wrong here, but I may not be doing anything wrong. We're seeing more and more of that back plane as we go. And I keep thinking that I'm screwing something up. I keep thinking that maybe it would have been better if I had some type of reference in front of me, if I had an actual piece of paper that I can rotate to see and visualize this better. Pro tip, probably should have done that. Well, it's okay. So the point is, as we're turning it that away around the pivot point that we have, that I defined, we're seeing, like, this section is receding in 3D space. This part is still, like, the closest to us. And this is the backside. So think of it like that. It's a 2D plane that exists in 3D space. You can think of it like a tile or a piece of paper. Okay, so at this point, we rotated it, and before this back part, like, yes, it's receding in 3D space, but it's it's beginning to get closer to us, the viewer. Like, we're heading towards that plane becoming more like a square because it's going to be like directly in front of us. So, and I'll show you, of course. I'm not just gonna show and not tell, because there is like a point in which it starts to get higher to kind of show that it's no longer, like, it is receding based on how we view it, but it's going to start coming towards us a little bit. I hope I'm doing this right. Yeah, I am. And there's a lot of lines to draw in it. But I think this could be a great tool to visualize how things are drawn in 3D space. Because look, at this point, it's starting to get closer to us, and it's starting to look wider, and but yeah, that's the main thing to get and understand. And I am going to like exaggerate. Like, I could draw, like, there's just like an infinite amount of lines in between when you're trying to get to that point. Animators, depending on how they're doing it, they'll probably draw a lot more, i.e. FPS. Like, the more frames you have, the more smooth an animation would look, even though we're just drawing and not really concerned with animation. Oops. And I think the important thing to understand is that as we go, once like that point and that point, eventually it's going to be at the same height as that line. It's not going to be it's not going to be higher than that line. It's going to be equal, like parallel to that line, unless we wanted it to be coming more towards the viewer. And I'll show you just out of curiosity. And I'll exaggerate after this step to show you. Like, we'll jump. I mean, not jumping too far. So we got that. And I think at this point I'm going to jump to, like, I'll show you. Like, not jumping too far. And I didn't make it as wide as that, but I think the point is a bit clear. Oh, it should have been down a little bit more. Okay, so we rotated our plane, even though it's a bit, like, that's a bit thinner than that. But like I said, this is the that's the back side, and the front side. Well, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna draw one more. No, it kind of looks straight enough, but just know, I'll do one more because I want it to be more even. Let's just say right there. Okay, let's go with that. We're assuming that we're looking at this backside. like directly in front of us now. So we did like, we rotated this until we got to that, even though that is thinner than that. It's the same thing as the point that I'm trying to get at with it. So you could do this all day, depending on how you want to rotate it. But now that I'm thinking about it, now if we showed how we went from here to here. Now if you wanted to rotate it towards us, the important thing to know is that the back side is going to get, I'll show you, okay? I'm just going to exaggerate it a bit. It's going to be a little bit further. If you can see, and it's very subtle, but you can see that the backside of the plane, like it would be this area, it's getting like larger. Eventually what's going to happen is, yeah, it's going to get larger, but then it's kind of going to get thinner again. And I'll show you. Why not? Might as well. Because like the backside, it's like, you know, this is rotating that way, and it's like coming closer to us, the viewer. And if you watched my video on rotating a box in 3D space, that kind of shows a thing similar to what I'm doing here, but with when you're dealing with a bunch more planes all connected to each other. I'll do another one. I'll exaggerate it. Because you should also note that the whole plane is becoming thinner, because obviously when you get it closer to the viewer, it's becoming more like that thin, because eventually we are going to hit that point again. Now I keep thinking, oh yeah, you know what? I think oh yeah, okay, so the thing is, the reason why that line, or the original line we made, isn't getting smaller is because we're rotating around that pivot axis point. Like we're just like moving the plane around like one way, not like the whole thing. Okay, we're at this point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to exaggerate it just to show you. Let's see, let me think. This is still our backside, by the way. So look, man, at this point, like this back plane, like, you know, it's coming closer to the viewer. I mean, it's like really exaggerated. I'm gonna do more. So it's coming even closer to us, and the step after this is probably going to be a bit weird, because that side is coming closer to the viewer. It's going to be like a lot higher. It's pretty much going to look like a line. I mean, surprising. I bet you're not surprised. So look, it's a line. Pretty cool, right? It's not the straightest line, but you have to picture it that it's like the same thing as that, but it's higher because there is now one side that's closer to us in 3D space. It's kind of like rotating a piece of paper, as I said time and time again. And at this point, if we were going to do another layer type thing, and I'll show you, why not? Sorry, let me visualize that. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to use that old one as a reference point. Like here. Okay, so at this point, well, I'll show you. Okay. This back point was visible, and well, I'll show you. Sorry, I need to settle down. Okay. So we had it facing towards us. We had it, this was the back. Oops. Sorry. This was the back. Alrighty. And as we rotated our piece of paper on that plane, we eventually saw it straight on. And now, oops, we're seeing the front again because we did that whole rotation of the plane. I didn't draw every single frame of it, but you kind of understand how, like, as you rotate that page, you know, there's going to be a part that is like receding in 3D space, and there's eventually going to be a part that's closest to us in 3D space as we move it around the axis there, or that line there. So yeah, I hope this helps explain how to rotate 2D planes in 3D space. I just did it kind of like on the horizon. I thought that was the best way to explain it. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments, and if this video helped you, please like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.